This is an old military Yanmar diesel-powered compact air compressor. I was able to scoop this up just as it sits for 200 bucks. The old man who owns this property and sold this little thing to me said that he did believe the engine ran, doesn't know about the air compressor. Usually when the military gets rid of something, it's because it doesn't work. Now it could be something really simple that doesn't work, or it could be something as big as this air compressor quit working or the engine quit working. It could be as little as a damaged fuel cap that they can no longer get the correct part number to. That is enough for the military to auction something off. What I'm getting at is, we may, golly, it's getting dark quick. Why did it just get so dark? We may have to pack up and go to the garage. Guys, I am not playing. It just got dark super quick. It looks like it's about to just start storming on me. So I need to roll this thing to the car and we're gonna get going on this thing in the garage. Well, I got it in the back of my Subaru. That's all that matters. Time to get it home. Probably wasn't good for it. We've got a military, oh, a dog, Yanmar diesel-powered air compressor. This thing is really cool. 4.4 horsepower engine. Has a starter on it, so you don't have to pull it. Maybe I can find a really small 12-volt ATV battery to put right here in this tray. That's probably what was in here to begin with. The gauge is also crap on it. We're gonna have to replace that. I'm gonna take this cover off and just check out, and there it goes. Check out the air filter. Okay, that was just stuck on pretty good. Ooh, that's a really dirty air filter there. I'll just have to order a new air filter, but we're gonna try to start it tonight. I haven't tried to turn this yet. Golly, feels like a hard spot there. I don't know if, I guess that's probably compression. This lever right here releases compression on the engine, so if it's the engine compression that's holding it up, it should spin now. Yep, that's what it was. I'm noticing we're also missing a bolt on this manifold for some reason. I'm not really sure why there's two caps on this fuel tank. Let's see if this air compressor has any oil in it. Not much at all. Yeah, that's not very much. Yeah, that's definitely got water in it. This air compressor is probably shot. And the sad thing about it is I can't find any numbers on this thing at all to even consider buying a rebuild kit for it. I guess the Army guys probably got tired of leaning over to set this thing down. Because of that, they've just been dropping it and it has bent the frame. The frame is bent right through the middle. You can see that's kind of leaning that way a little bit. Make sure it's got some kind of oil in it so it'll lube up while I'm cranking it. Yep, it's definitely got some oil in it. So 12-volt battery here, and I'm thinking I can just ground this out probably here. Oh crap. Yeah, it wants to go. That tank is dang near empty. It's probably been run out of fuel. This tank looks like it's got nothing but motor oil in it. The fuel actually comes down from this tank into this, which I believe is probably the injection pump, up to this line and then into the injector. Because of how nasty this fuel tank is here, I'm gonna take this off and we're gonna clean it out. While I've got it off, I'm also gonna go ahead and pressure wash the whole unit. Flushing the tank out right now, you can see a whole lot of oil coming out of there. That actually cleaned it up quite a bit. I'm gonna keep running it though. I'm just gonna let it sit overnight and keep on flushing out. Oh, a lot of nasty oil just came out of there. I'm gonna be replacing both of these fuel lines just because they're old. They're not leaking, I don't think, but why not? Ooh, what the heck? Okay, we're in trouble. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but there's been this tarry substance that I've seen throughout working on this little thing, mostly in the bottom of the fuel tank. And this tarry substance is about impossible to get rid of. I've got it all over my hands and I've washed them several times. Can't seem to get it off. Upon taking this fuel line off of the, I suspect, the injector, this thing is just absolutely plugged with that nasty looking tar. Yeah, that's pretty solid too. Look at this stuff. If you get it on your hand, it's dang near impossible to get rid of. It's really, really sticky. It almost smells like it's hazardous. It's got like a really funky, like old oil smell. On this injection pump, that should be the supply line that's all plugged up. And unless we unplug this thing, this will not run. I need to get something in there, see if I can break it free. Oh, it's so sticky. Dang it. Everyone say a quick prayer that this line right here is not clogged up as well. Shoot some brake cleaner down it. See what all we get. Let's see if this line's plugged up now. Nope, clear as can be. I think we've about got that tar completely broke down now. Now let's crank it and see if we get any fuel spitting. Okay, we're not even getting anything out of the injection pump now. Let's peel this hose back, see if we're getting any fuel. Yep, we're getting fuel. Holy crap. It's going all over the place. I believe we have found the reason why this thing got auctioned off. This fuel system has just been plagued with the tar that we found in the tank. There's a couple of things we can do. We can try to pull this off and clean it up. There she goes. So looking at this little bitty injection pump, this right here is going to be your on and off. It's actually pretty hard to move. I don't know if that's normal. Actually, I can't get it to move at all. Regardless, it is stuck in the on position. I know that from playing with this lever here and watching the arm inside move. This would be on and this would be off. So when it's in the on position, the lever should be to the right, just like it is here. This thing's got some bizarre threads on it. There we go. So we got this little inlet out. It is actually just held on there with a little O-ring. And it is in fact plugged up, and it's probably even more plugged up on the injector end here. Look at that tar. Ugh. That is bad, 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 bad right there. I'm not sure that this is even savable at this point because there are lots of little bitty holes inside of this thing that are probably clogged that I can't get to without taking this apart. I'm gonna look up and see how much one of these are right quick. And then I may run down the road where I bought this thing. I saw another one of those engines laying on a trailer. I guess it was a parts engine. And I'm gonna see how much he wants for it because I can probably take the injection pump off of that and throw it back on here if he's willing to sell it cheap enough. But this injection pump is probably fried because of all the tar inside of it. I just stopped by the guy's house that I bought the engine from. Oh, there it is. There it is, I found it. Yep. I think this is the same model. This is a L48, so it's a little bit bigger. It might be the same injection pump though. It looks to be the same. The only problem is it's been sitting outside, so it may not be any good. Let's see if I can carry this thing back. Gosh. He actually ended up giving me that engine for free. This is actually a slightly different model. This one is a L48 AE, whereas our military one is a L40, so this one's a little bit bigger. And that could just be because of the injection pump. Maybe this thing's just pulling more fuel. So maybe, just maybe, we're actually upgrading our military engine to a L48. That's just a theory. I don't know that for sure. Oh my gosh. I bet you them have never been apart. Brake. There we go. Hopefully this is the same under the hood as the other one is. And it is, I believe. So just comparing the two, they look to be almost identical. I'm gonna clean out this inlet a little bit and we're gonna try to run it. Oh gosh, look at that. That just blew right out of there. She's probably good to go, I'd say. Gotta make sure this arm sits in here perfectly. I'm gonna hook up fuel to it and I'm just gonna see if we can get it to shoot fuel or not. All right, let's just see if it'll shoot any fuel now. Not really doing anything. The injection pump from the other engine does have a different part number than this one. This one says 4C10, that other one says like 6G something. And I can't get it to squirt oil either, so I have nothing to lose. I'm gonna start taking this apart. I'm gonna take the top off here. I've already cleaned out a lot of the gunk that was in there. Worst comes to worst, I can't put this back together and I just buy a new one for like 35 bucks. I know these things are pretty sensitive. Take this off kind of slowly. Spring here. This is cleared out. Oh yeah, look at that. Right there's completely plugged up as well. I'm thinking if I just clean out the top of this injection pump, that matches up to the inlet. That would be cleared, I think. And then if I just clean out, oh, look at all that oil on there. But if I clean this out, we should be good to go. I've compressed the injection pump here to open it up a little bit, and after spraying this in here a couple times, we now have a clear passage through. When I spray this through, it is finally running through the front, so the injection pump is finally unclogged. There we go. Now we need to make sure this little guy is all cleaned up. This carbon choke cleaner seems to work pretty well on this gunk. I like to think we've got it all clean, so I'm gonna put this back together and hopefully this thing will run properly now. Got to look into this lever and it's really hard to turn. I would have to take a ratchet and tap on it to get it to move anywhere. So I put it in a vise, sprayed a bunch of Curl oil in it, and started moving it back and forth like crazy. And I didn't see it happen, but I realized that this plunger expanded all the way out, whereas before it was all the way up. It looked a lot like this other one over here. But see how after I freed up that lever, this plunger is so much longer than this one. I'm wondering if these things were stuck in the compressed area and they froze like that. Now this seems to be pretty easy to move. I'm wondering if now if I put this thing back in here, if it's gonna work. Evidently it's not free enough because my little on and off switch is still not moving this injector anywhere. So I've manually moved it to the on position. And if this works, I'm gonna be happy. Fuel is on. Oh, baby. We got fuel, but can we turn the fuel off? Off position. Let's see if it still spits fuel now. Yeah, so we're not gonna be able to turn it off. So we need to pull this injection pump out of here and try to free that up a little bit more so that this little mechanism can turn it. Before I go to bed, I'm gonna let this thing soak in 100% brake cleaner. Just the bottom at least. So maybe we'll kind of break some of that junk up. And maybe in the morning this thing will be free. Alright, next morning. I've been soaking this all night in brake cleaner. And let's see if this injection pump is freed up now. Nice. That should work. I'm hoping we got rid of all the carc paint too. This stuff's supposed to be chemical resistant. I guess Rural King brake cleaner does a number on it. That's off, that's on. So I'm gonna throw it in there and hopefully we can control the fuel now. I left the little arm window visible and I can see the arm in there. And when I use the on and off switch, it still does not move. So I take a little pick and try to move it manually and it's really hard to move. Why is that? I'm not really sure. I don't know why this thing's great. And just like that, it's free again. It seems that when we put this thing in here, there's friction being made in between here and it's putting a bind on our on-off. I would let this go if this wasn't the only way we had to kill it. But this is the only way we have to kill this engine. Let's test this theory in the vise real quick. Yep, looky there. When you tighten this thing down, it compresses the spring and your lever can no longer move. I'm not really sure what can be done about this other than buying a new injection pump. After a little bit of searching, I came across this on the internet and this was $35. As you can see, we still have our manual shutoff switch, but on top of that, we also have an electronic shutoff switch. This actually cuts off fuel directly. I'm gonna wire this new shutoff solenoid that goes to the injection pump onto this switch. For example, this will be solenoid on, which means fuel on, and then this will be start. And as soon as you let off start, just like a car, your accessory is gonna stay on. And when I wanna cut this thing off, I just turn it off. And then that will kill the power going to the solenoid, in turn killing the fuel. Which means we're gonna completely forget about the manual shutoff there. Everything will be run from this electronic fuel solenoid. It's not gonna be all that simple though. I have to have something on this unit that will charge the battery that I'm going to use to power the solenoid and the starter. Luckily, my parts engine that I picked up over there already has a charging system on it. So I just gotta pull this out of here. We'll have to pull the front cover off of this engine. These two wires go to a charging system that is hidden in here. But for now, let's throw this injection pump in here, rig up some power, and see if we can get this thing to run. Fuel is hooked up to the injection pump. I've got the solenoid on a jumper wire. This is hot to the battery, and you can hear the solenoid clicking. So when it does this, it should be allowing fuel to go to the injection pump, but we're about to find out. There it is. Throw our line on here. I had brand new air filters come in while I was waiting on those parts, so we might as well throw in a new air filter if we're gonna fire it up. Throw a little bit of compressor oil in here since this thing is about empty. Just enough to get by. All right, first startup. Here we go. Well, light it shut off. Dying for some reason. Again. Well, no, I doubt that time. I doubt it's gonna change anything, but I forgot that I took the only nut that this thing had on the exhaust off. I took it off to go get another one that matched it. Some engines need that back pressure through the exhaust. Like I said, I doubt that's what's wrong with this, but just to be sure that's not what it is, I'm gonna put those new nuts on real quick. Hey, come here. And just like that, that's how you shut her off. Just flip that switch. Heck yes. I've got lots of new parts that we're gonna have to install in this thing, including a new key switch. We're gonna have to run all our wiring. I'm gonna take the charging system out of that engine, put it in this engine. It runs good, but we still got a lot of work to do. This engine's missing the pull rope mechanism, so I thought I would just add one on there. Get the big girl out. Boom. Right out. Alright, hopefully that holds up. So now we have a ball valve to a regulator in case we need to turn the air down. Turn the ball valve off, and then this is where we're gonna hook our air up to. I'm gonna take the alternator out of our parts engine right quick. I was hoping I wouldn't have to take this flywheel off, but I should have known better than that. Thing was on there pretty good. Looks like I may have broke the keyway. And there she goes. So here's our charging system right here, our alternator. There's a chance that we'll have to use this flywheel, or at least just take this off, because this is what creates the charge in between the copper coils. And out she goes. Oh, it's got a part number. Wonder if that's still a thing. 54880. This flywheel is the same part number as the one off the other engine. There she goes. Looks much better. Oh yeah, those are looking much better. Throw our fancy green cover back on. These are the two little wires we're after in order to wire up our alternating system. good. So let me explain this, what we got going on here real quick. Because this frame is bent in the middle, we've lost a lot of our tension on the belt. So when we get past about 100 PSI in that tank, this compressor starts to get a little bit tougher to turn. The engine's turning, but the compressor is not because we've got all of this slack. I'm gonna try to air this tire up, and once we do that, we're gonna try to figure out how we're gonna go about getting some tension back on this belt. That didn't work. Uh-oh. I think we got it out. Nope. Surely it's out now. Big old split on top. We're gonna put a belt on here that is 1 inch smaller to compensate for this bent frame. There we go. Let's give this thing some legs. I found these little boot things here at Rule King in the hardware section. I suppose these probably go on the bottom of tables or something like that, but they're hard enough that I can mount these to the legs of this compressor. Squish these washers in there. Heck yeah. Give her some new 1040. Not sure how much it takes. All right, we've done a ton of work to this thing. We've got a new belt, new injection pump, aired up tire, got a new 12-volt battery grounded out to the air compressor. For the air tank, we've got a new ball valve, a regulator, and a chuck. Fancy new legs for it to stand on. New drain valve for the tank. New relief valve, plumbing, and air gauge. Our new positive battery wire runs to the switch. From the switch runs to the starter. That's what gives the starter supply. And then we have this little red wire, which is the starter solenoid. Goes back down to the switch. These two blue wires come from the stator to the rectifier. I wired up a start assist button for our glow plugs to heat the intake manifold. New air filter, pull start, and of course we added a stator or alternator inside of here. This thing is good to go.